Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother Canada 9 updates and spoilers. Our house guests of the day are Teresa Lyons and Van Scott. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you and we appreciate it so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Woo! I also want to wish a very happy 30th birthday to my boyfriend. Happy birthday, babe. I love you. He's probably never going to see this, but whatever. When we left off yesterday, the house guests were waiting for the nomination ceremony to happen. If you guys didn't watch yesterday's spoiler yet, you should probably pause this video, go watch that one, and then come back, because I went over, whatever dynamics of the house we could figure out at this point, so it's kind of an important video. But anyway, Austin is planning on nominating Josh and Kiefer for eviction this week. Team Destiny is all safe for the week because of the twist. She's only got 6 available options from Team Defender to nominate. So if we go through that really quickly, she's super close with Brayden. No way she's going to nominate him. She promised LaToya safety in the HOH competition because it was down to the 2 of them. She's not going to go back on that. She's working with Jed. Not going to nominate him. So that leaves Josh, Kiefer, and Rohan. Okay, so a lot of the house guests really want Josh out. In fact, he was supposed to be the one going last week, and then that flipped, like in the last day or so. LaToya had a huge hand in flipping that vote. Josh is just not fitting in. He stirred things up last week. I don't know what he did last week that's making everyone dislike him in the house, but from what I've seen so far on the feeds, he's just an introvert. He's having a hard time making connections with people, and they're viewing his attempts at hanging out with people as, like, awkward and uncomfortable, but, like, poor Josh. I feel so bad for him. He's doing his best. He seems like fun to me, but I don't know. Austin, on the other hand, wants Kiefer to go, not Josh. She feels like Kiefer doesn't like her, plus he knows the game, so that's threatening to her. And apparently Kiefer was talking trash against her during the HOH competition. So why would you want to keep someone like that around, right? So then some craziness went down yesterday. I talked about this in yesterday's spoiler. Some sort of challenge in the morning. I think it was probably like related to one of the sponsors. It seems like as a result of that competition, Kiefer's bed was moved to the backyard. So he had to share it with someone else last night. Some people are on slop, some people are on peanut butter and jelly and cookies for the week. What? And there was talk of maybe someone having an advantage in the Power of Veto competition. Unfortunately, I don't know who is doing or getting any of these things. I was hoping I would have some answers for you guys today, but I'm still not clear on all that. Like, why this is happening, who it's happening to. But surprisingly, they still have not revealed the have-not room to the house guests. As far as I've seen anyway, I feel like we would have noticed if they were, like, hanging out in the giant ball pit. But yeah, I haven't seen that yet. So I'll let you know when I know. But back to the house guests waiting for the nomination ceremony. Kiefer is spiraling. He's nervousing. He knows that he's going up on the block. So he was talking to Ty and LaToya in the Expedia room, and he's telling them about his pre-nominations conversation with Austin. He says, I feel a little bit better after talking to her because I asked her if Josh is her target this week, and she said yes, 100%. She was lying. Kiefer says if that is the case, like, it doesn't make sense, though, for me to go up on the block against Josh. She should be putting up a strong competitor next to him so that we can ensure that Josh won't win the Power of Veto and we can get rid of him. So he suggested Rohan would be a better nominee next to Josh because he would be more likely to win a POV competition. You just know Kiefer doesn't want to go up on the block. Why would you, right? So Kiefer admits he was freaking out earlier about potentially going up, but he feels better now. That's not what your allies are saying. So he's like, we've got the numbers no matter what. I shouldn't have to worry. I think it's 5 votes to tie this. Sorry, my nose is running. I think it's 5 votes to tie this week because there's going to be 10 people voting. since they're going back to the usual rules. And Kiefer is part of the Sunsetters Alliance, which is him, LaToya, Ty, Jed, Tina, and Beth. So if everybody's staying loyal to that alliance, that would be 5 votes right there. But we'll see. I don't know. So Kiefer feels that he would have the votes against Josh or Rohan. And he says to LaToya and Ty, if one of you guys wins the power veto, or anybody from our alliance, don't pull me off the block, because that would really expose our group. You know, we don't want to expose it so soon. We got to continue to keep this alliance under wraps. We can't let anybody know that we're working together. So Ty's like, yeah, well, make sure you don't do anything that's going to make you more of a target this week. Just stay calm. Keep the target on Josh. So they agree, the 3 of them. They believe that Josh really is Austin's target this week. No. Okay. So then later, LaToya, Ty, and Jed were chatting in the kitchen, and they are getting really annoyed by Kiefer spiraling. They're like, he needs to calm down and just play it cool. They're worried that he might just like do something crazy that's going to mess up all of their games. Ty says if Kiefer blows it up too much, we can't save him because that's going to expose the alliance. But then LaToya's like, think about this. She says, I'm afraid if we don't protect him, that he's going to expose us on the way out. Ugh. So they're all saying like, Kiefer, we got you. You know, we're working with you. We're going to keep you, but you have to do your part too. You can't just like make a mess of this situation and hope that we're going to save you. You know, you got to stay cool up on the block and trust that we have your back. It's got to be tough to do that early in the game, you know? You just met these people and now you're entrusting your game in them, or with them. But LaToya had a similar conversation with Tina later. They're already tired of Kiefer's shenanigans, and he's not even officially on the block yet. Yikes. So Josh chats with Austin again in the HOH room. He already talked to her once, trying to be like, please don't put me up. I'll work with you. I'll do what you want. But he's telling Austin, I'm not saying you should put me up on the block, but if you do, I'm not going to hold it against you. I understand why you would be doing that. I get it. And Austin says, you know, I don't really have a target in mind this week. It's Kiefer. But she's not saying this openly to Josh. She doesn't need him having this information and potentially going around and spreading this. She's not ready for that yet. It's too early in the week. So, I mean, she could still even change her mind later in the week. You don't want to say who your target is too early. So Austin says, regardless of who I put up, we've got a whole week. You know, we saw what happened last week. Josh is very familiar with what happened last week. Like I mentioned before, he was going to be the one leaving, and then it flipped to Julie at the last minute. So yeah, he is aware things can change at the drop of a hat. So Josh also brings up, we got the power veto this week too. You know, they didn't have that last week, but this time they do. So that could also change everything. So there was a lot of goofing around yesterday. Everybody's still being all chill with each other. The lines haven't really officially been drawn yet, except for the, like, official teams, you know. But people were having fun stacking up cookies. They got a lot of cookies this week because of that punishment, if you want to call it a punishment. They're playing tic-tac-toe with the cookies. They're all watching Kiefer experiment with different slop recipes. A bunch of people getting shoulder massages. But there was still more game to be discussed. So LaToya and Ty were chatting in the bathroom. And Ty feels like they really need to solidify with the people that they can for sure trust. So he's mostly talking about the Sunsetter Alliance here. So again, that's LaToya, Ty, Jed, Kiefer, Tina, and Beth. And LaToya's like, you don't think that that's solidified already? You know, we got a name and everything. But LaToya admits there is one person in the alliance that she's still a little bit worried about. And that person is Beth. We've heard her talking about this with Tina before. But Ty says he feels the same way. He just can't figure out why. And LaToya says it's a gut feeling. She feels like Beth has other alliances. But I appreciate so much what LaToya said next, because she was like, good for her for playing the game. You know, it's to be expected that people are going to have multiple alliances. But which alliance is she gonna be the most loyal to? Is it ours, or is it something else she's got going on? So I really appreciate her acknowledging that people are gonna have more than one alliance, because every season it just kills me when people are freaking out like, oh, this person that I'm aligned with is also aligned with this person. But at the same time, the person saying that has like 10 different alliances. That drove me crazy, especially during BB22. But anyway, it was also funny because LaToya is bringing up concerns about Beth having other alliances. Maybe like the one that Beth has with Austin, Jed, and Ty, who LaToya is talking to right now. But LaToya says, I wish I could just go back in time and replace Beth with Tara in the alliance. Ooh. And she says if anyone's going to mess up our alliance, it's going to be Beth. Jed and Ty are aligned with, like, a lot of people. But anyway, LaToya is talking about snaking Beth potentially at the final 7 instead of bringing her all the way to the final 6. What would that do? You're going to get rid of her one spot earlier than you said? Ty thinks maybe they should consider doing it sooner, but LaToya says, no, I want to stay true to the group for as long as we can. But we need to keep an eye on Beth for any missteps. You know, if we need to strike early, then that's what we need to do. So then it was funny because a little while later, we had like an extended clip of Beth dancing around in the HOH room. She was listening to Austin's music, and it just was such goofy dancing. And it reminded me of the Dancing in the Street silent music video. If you guys have never seen that, just Google Dancing in the Street silent music video. It is so funny. But I thought of this because of like the Foley work that was happening here. We couldn't hear the music. We just heard Beth's like footsteps and like jostling around and like her breathing from like the exertion. It just cracked me up. It was amazing. But anyway, the feeds went down for nominations at some point last night. I don't remember the exact time. And as expected, Austin put up Josh and Kiefer for eviction. And the vibe was pretty chill post-nominations. I mean, they both knew that it was coming. They had both talked to Austin ahead of time. And a little while later, Victoria and Josh were chatting in the Destiny bedroom, and Josh is like, it's all good. You know, I get it. I get why she did it. A lot of people are not feeling me right now. So she was kind of in a tough position in that respect, and she doesn't have a lot of people to choose from. But Victoria tells Josh, you're really handling it well. Just remain calm, and we'll see what happens. You know, you never know what could happen. And then Victoria spills some info. Only a few people at this point know for sure, have heard from Austin that she would like Kiefer to go this week and not Josh. And Victoria is one of those people. So Victoria says to Josh, Austin said you're not her target. Everybody knows that. No, they don't. But Josh says, no, I don't think she really has a target though, like this week. And Victoria says, she does. She was pissed about Kiefer talking shit during the HOH competition. Ugh. So I haven't seen Josh like spread this info around to anyone yet, but it's interesting that Victoria shared this with Josh. And then this conversation was interrupted by Beth and Tina coming in, so we didn't get to hear any more of it. But the house guests spent a lot of last night working on this like banana melon song that they came up with, and also they were each working on a rap like introducing themselves, and they were all like doing this consecutively. So like they would go through it, and then one person would mess up, and then they start over, and like it was just, they were working on it for hours. Yeah, but at least they're staying entertained, right? So today, this morning, Tina and Rohan were having a game chat in the Expedia room, and Rohan says, I want to convince Josh to throw the POV to me. I'm gonna tell him, like, if you throw it to me, I will save you. I'll be safe because I want it. And then we can work together. But in reality, Rohan says if he wins Power Veto, he's leaving nominations the same. That's so sad. Boo. So Tina says, oh, Canada would love that. Would they? Because I don't think they would. I don't know. I just feel like they're being super mean to Josh. But again, we didn't see what happened last week, but from what we've all seen on the feeds, I feel bad for Josh. So Tina says, wow, I really hope that you get to play in this POV competition. Well, I don't. But she also says that she hopes Rohan will be good this week, because Rohan knows, everybody knows, if somebody is saved by the POV, Rohan is going to be the replacement nominee. So he does not want that to happen. But they agree. Things are really going to get interesting after Josh is gone this week. They're assuming Josh will be leaving. We'll see. It's not set in stone yet, but they figure after he is gone, the game will really begin. They're going to see the pecking order. They're going to see who ranks above and below each other, you know? So then they kick around the idea of working with each other along with Kyle and Tara. They feel really good about that group. So they're not going to force this yet, but they want to get together and have some serious conversations about working together once the teams dissolve and they're all playing as individuals. So then a little while later, the feeds go down for the POV player picks. And again, this season, the HOH is not playing in the Power Veto competition. So we've got the two. I think that sucks. I think they should let the HOH play and try to defend their nominations. But that's just my opinion. So we've got the two noms playing, Josh and Kiefer, along with three extras, Tina, Tara, and Victoria. Victoria, sorry. Sorry, Rohan. Guess you're not going to get to carry out your evil plan. But it's interesting because three of those people, the three extra players, are all safe for the week. Interesting. But after the picks, Kiefer was getting a lot of reassurance from everybody saying, like, oh, you're safe this week no matter what. Like, don't worry about it. We'll see. So Rohan quickly checked in with Tara, and he was telling her about the potential alliance with Tina and Kyle. And she says she's down. She likes it. She's not really officially in anything at this point, from what I've seen. They also discussed pulling in LaToya so they could have a 5. And they all want Josh to go. So then a little later, Rohan and Tara were in the HOH room with Kyle and LaToya. So that's 4 out of that group of 5 that they were planning. And they're all excited. They're like, no one would expect this group. It could be so awesome. Yo, Rohan is trying to make this happen right now because he knows he's going to go up on the block if the POV is used. And he wants to make sure that he has the votes to stay. But I feel like Tina and LaToya, they would stay loyal to Kiefer, I'm assuming. But who knows if Josh were the one to come down. So, yeah, Rohan is trying to cover his butt right now. Sorry, I'm still trying to get, like, everybody's names all good. But this was interesting. This group is all chatting about the game, and they're starting to wonder if Austin actually wants Kiefer out this week and not Josh. Yes, that is what's happening. So it's interesting that they're picking up on that. But they all agree they would rather keep Kiefer around than Josh. They could see themselves working with Kiefer in the future, but not Josh. I feel like that's dumb because Josh doesn't have anybody right now. So keep him around and he could do something. I don't know. But then again, part of this group is already working with Kiefer, so of course they want to keep him. But yeah, they're not officially solidifying this alliance yet. They're still saying, like, it's too early for alliances. Okay. But they do want to vote together this week, and they specifically want to vote out Josh. So Kyle says whatever happens, Ro cannot go. Okay. So then the feeds went down a little while ago. I'm assuming it's for the POV competition. You know what happens when you assume, though. And this show has made me feel like an ass many times. So if it is the POV comp, I just want to remind you guys the players are Josh, Kiefer, Tina, Tara, and Victoria. If you want to check back later, I will post the winner of the competition in the info for the spoiler video, so you don't have to wait until tomorrow to find out. And as far as I know, they still have not opened the Have Not room. Maybe they're doing that now. I don't know. But I'm assuming it's the POV competition. So let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. Who are you rooting for? I'm not going to lie. I'm rooting for Josh. I think it would be so much fun if Josh was able to pull off a win and stay this week. But we'll see. So let me know your thoughts. And until next time, much love.